If you want to do usability testing for an app or a website, HotJar might be the tool for you. In fact, it's one of the leaders in this industry, and it enables you to create all sorts of usability testing, such as heat maps, recordings in screen of users going on your website, and receive all sorts of different feedback in a very fast and efficient way. The best part is that you just have to sync your website with HotJar, and essentially after that you're ready to get started, and HotJar will start receiving and gathering all of the feedback and information that is going to allow you to make better decisions for your website or app. Now, I've been a UI UX designer for almost a decade now, and over the past years I used HotJar extensively. In this video I want to give you a complete walkthrough and overview from the very start. So how to access HotJar, how to sync it in with your website, and how to use it effectively. So now without further ado, let's get started and let's explore HotJar in detail. As mentioned previously, HotJar is a great tool to do usability testing and help us create all sorts of different tests that we're going to explore in just a moment. So we are on hotjar.com, which is their official website. As you can see, we're going to find here a initial video which gives us a brief overview of HotJar. And as you scroll down, we can already see that this tool is used by a lot of really big companies, and they've been around the block for a while, so they're definitely one of the top in the industry, if not the top. And as you can see here, there's the main features, which are the heat maps, the recordings, incoming feedback and surveys, and we're going to explore all of that in just a moment in more detail. Now, of course, they're compliant, they're GDPR commitment, PCI compliance, CCPA commitment, their approach to privacy. So they really can try to keep the most when it comes to security and privacy. And as we scroll down, we're going to see all of the different main features, but now let's go right to the point and let's sign up with either email or Google. You can do it directly from here. I'm going to use Google in this case, and I'm going to simply click on go forward and essentially finish the sign up process. And when I'm logged in with Google, I'm going to see this onboarding page. So I'm going to write here my first and last name. I'm going to select 1 to 10 employees, and I'm going to say that I'm a UX designer. I won't check this one since I don't want to receive the articles and tips email to my inbox. So now we have to decide which website we want to sync and update within HotJar. And I'm going to use this website that I have in Italy. And essentially the easiest way to add the website, since you're going to need to add also the HTTP or HTTPS and also these slashes, is simply to add the website and go to the website directly over here and copy and paste it directly. So you're going to have exactly the URL that you're looking for. Now at this point you click on continue, and it should give you no error messages. And as you can see, you have two options. The very first one is to install the code manually, and the second one is going to install on a specific platform, which is going to be the option which I'm going to use in this case, since the website at this point is on SiteGround. So I'm actually going to select WordPress, and I'm going to essentially get the plugin from SiteGround. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. So I'm here in WordPress, and I'm going to go under plugin and add new, and I'm going to select and write in HotJar. At this point I'm going to see the first one. I'm going to click on install. It's going to take just a moment in order to install, and once that is done, as you can see, we're going to click on activate in order to activate this plugin. Now, as we basically see here on the HotJar website, we're going to need to add the site ID during the checkout process, and then we're going to need to essentially verify where if the process went on correctly. So what we want to do here is go back in WordPress. We're going to go under settings and then HotJar, and as you can see, we have the HotJar ID, which we're going to enter. We're going to click on save, and at this point we should be synced. So let's go over here and click on verify installation, and let's click on verify installation again, and now it's connecting to the site to verify the HotJar installation. As you can see, it's saying that this can take up to 60 seconds. Usually it's less than that, but yeah, it really depends on the scenario. I also have a VPN, so maybe that is affecting the performance a little bit. But yeah, nonetheless, let's just wait, and I'll be right back. Right, so now that the installation has been successfully verified, which by the way, you had to click on verifying installation on the previous screen, you're going to be able to access the main HotJar dashboard and essentially be able to go into action. Now, as you can see, most of the elements and features of HotJar are essentially on the go, meaning that they need to gather data in order for them to show you all of their magic, essentially. So relevant recordings, popular pages, tracking screenshots, all those really cool features which we're going to explore once we have the data. Now, as a first thing, I want to recommend you to get started by having a look at the different getting started tips. So as we click there, we're going to see that the very first one is view the first recording. So again, the recording is on the go, but over here on the recordings panel, you're going to be able to see all of the recordings of your website directly into HotJar. You're going to be able to segment and search between new users, returning users, mobile users, even rage-clicked favorites, and here are going to be the comments. So all of the recordings in your HotJar are going to be right here. Now, over here in the previous part, you're going to be able to see over here the heat maps, which are also on the left. Now, if you click on the heat maps, again, they're on the way, but essentially what heat maps are, they're essentially pages which enable you to see where the user has clicked. But we're going to actually have a look at this in more detail once we have all the data, so that all of this is going to make more sense. All right, we're back in HotJar almost 24 hours later, and as you can see, we do have some activity now. So you can see here on the relevant recordings that several actions have been recorded from free users, which again, HotJar is not giving any sensible information on the users, but you can see here the different actions, and you can see that we have some recordings of those actions. So if you click on play, you can see now how a user was interacting on a blog post in the website, and you can see here different moments of this interaction, and essentially it was all recorded. So here's like 31 minutes. It's quite extensive. I assume that the user is is going around, that you can kind of see what were the actions that he was taking, and yeah, just overall this can be like really interesting and useful in some instances. So let's go back. So this would be the first videos if you have a look at this other one, we can see how even the device was different. In this case, was a smaller device, and the user was scrolling through the blog post quite rapidly. He wasn't even reading. So in this case, this might be interesting if we see like this pattern. Maybe you want to turn the blog post into more visual formats and so on. So this can give us some insights as to how the users are behaving in our website. Now you can see here that we have basic options. We can also note some issues. For example, we can click here, we can make some comments and tag our team members if we see some specific patterns, and so on and so forth. Here you're going to see all of the details about the session, and you can also tag recordings and see the different actions. Now let's go back to the main dashboard and let's have a look at how you can create a feedback widget, which is a really useful tool that is going to, as they say here, let users tell you what they love, what they don't, and enable them to point out the issues getting in their way. So if you click on feedback widget, you can see the preview of the widget right here, and the user can basically add if they love the product, tell about the experience and then send it. And you can choose the language, you can choose the position inside of the web page. You can also choose the different reactions that are going to appear here. So you can just change that, but that requires a business account. You can also change the accent color. So if you want to make, for example, the accent color in a blue, you can do that directly from here. And also if you want this to be dark instead of light. Hide HotJar branding, that's something that you can do. So this is going to hide it below. You can see the preview also on the phone. Now, if you go to the next steps, basically this is what the main question is going to be about. You can also ask for an email request. As you know, email marketing is very big these days, so this can be a good chance to get someone's email, and also the thank you message after they left the feedback. Now after that, you can also choose the targeting. So if you want the devices to be on desktop, tablet, mobile, and if you want to just target specific pages of your website or all pages, also show the widget to the following users, all users or users with a specific attribute. You can add the attributes manually from the user attributes section. So this is a little bit more advanced, but definitely something that you can consider. Traffic coverage, further reduce the percentage of users who see your feedback widget based on the parameters set above. You can set the percentage here. And also if you want to forward feedback on Slack or email, or even create a Zapier widget automation, which can enable you to connect all sorts of different softwares. Here's pretty much like a summary of all the main settings that you selected. Then you can simply click on start incoming feedback in order to get started with that. Now I'm going to exit without saving, and here we're going to see the heat maps, which unfortunately is not available at this time. I'm probably going to shoot another video once the heat maps are available. But what heat maps are essentially, they allow you to see where the users are and where they're clicking. So in this case, if I zoom in, and you can see in this really good blog post on heat maps from HotJar themselves, you can see here an example of a heat map, and essentially shows where the users are scrolling and clicking and putting their mouse. So these are the attention points, and this would be I think it's called a scroll map or a flow map, where it basically shows you where the user, until what point the users are scrolling down the page, what sections are they're viewing before jumping and going on another page. So as you can see over here, scroll map, and basically above the fold, which is this section right here in red, it's going to be the section that pretty much every user is going to see. It's just because it's the top. But then as you scroll down, less and less percentage of users are going to see this section, less users here, and here are going to be the minority of users. So as you can see, we're going to have in the scroll map these points where it tells you the percentage of visitors that reached that specific point. So you're going to see them right here in the Heatmap section, and you simply have to click. It's going to be very similar to your relevant recording, so just keep that in mind, but it's pretty straightforward in that sense. Now, another thing I want to show you is recent surveys. So you can create a survey directly from here. You can call this design survey. You can add a description and click on next. And you can make this survey as a popover, which is going to be on the bottom side of the screen. You can make it full screen, so it covers the entire width, or it can be an external link to an external site, essentially. If we click on full screen and we select the questions, you can see that over here you're going to be able to basically choose what type of questions that you're going to have, and you can choose if the question is required, and also what type of question is this. For example, in this case, it's a radio button, so you can decide if it's a yes or no answer, and you can also add more answers, of course. And as you select a new question, you can see the different types of survey questions that you can ask. So the first one is long text answer, so it's going to be a long potential answer. This is for short text answer, so they're still going to type in, but it's going to be shorter. This one is requiring the email. This one is just yes or no. This is the radio buttons. So as you can see here, multiple potential answers, but they cannot multiple select. If you want them to multiple select, you're going to have to click on the checkboxes one. This one is the rating, so from 1 to 5 in this case, or 1 to 7. So if you click here, you're going to be able to select the basically the range. So low score label is going to be strongly disagree, high score label strongly agree. And if you go here, you can see net promoter score and also a statement question. So my recommendation is to just go here and just try different things and really figure out what is going to be like the best format for the type of question that you're looking to get answers from. And then of course at the end there's going to be the thank you message. Now if we click on this bottom section, you're going to see the appearance. So this is all about how it looks. So you can select the different colors of for example the button. This requires business, so probably it's not updating due to that. So, and you can see it also in mobile, of course. If you click on targeting, you're going to be able to again find and select which devices you want to target, so desktop, tablet, or mobile, and also show this survey on other specific pages or on all pages. You can also show the survey to all users or users with specific attributes, as we mentioned before. And you can also select the percentage of users that will be shown this survey. You can also select the behavior, so when to display the survey, if immediately after a page loads or if there's going to be a delay, and also when a user is about to abandon the page on a desktop device, so when they're about to check off from the website essentially. Or when a user scrolls down the page, so that you know that they are engaged in some sense. And you can also select the frequency, so only once, forever, till they submit a response. So all really useful survey elements. And you can decide to forward the response of a survey maybe to Slack, a specific Slack channel, for example, or via email, or even via Zapier workflow. If you click here on review and activate, you're going to have a complete summary of pretty much everything that we discussed. And then once you save it, you're ready to rock and roll with your HotJar survey. Now let's go back. And as you can see here, we also have a recent team activity. So for example, what I highlighted in these previous recordings was recorded over here. So this helps you keep track of important activity that the team made or you made if it's an individual account. So just something to keep in mind. Now on top of that, I just want to briefly go through the settings. Over here, you're going to have all your account settings. So all the basics, and you can see as I click here, I'm going to be able to find the different settings for site's organization, team, if I want to add or invite a new team member. You're going to be the user attributes, integrations with third-party softwares, user lookups, and also preferences. If you like to change the logo, for example, here you can do that from this section. Also, if you want a single sign-on, and also your plan and billing, and also the track record of different invoices. So this is pretty much it when it comes to the accounts, and you can find even more details right here. You can set up the notifications if you want to receive email or daily emails. And you can refer a friend, and you're going to receive these prizes once you make enough referrals. If you need help, there's a getting started guide right here, or you can go and basically have help from their customer support. So this is it when it comes to HotJar in a nutshell, and I'll see you in the next video.